What's good, everybody? It's me, Jay. And today I'm going to tell you step by step how to pay off your student loans. So the former head coach of the Detroit Lions, Tony Dungy, has a saying, a goal without a plan is a wish. And in one of my previous videos where I talked about understanding student loans and how they work, someone left a comment saying that they plan on paying off their student loans within the next 5 to 10 years. Well, that's not a plan. It's just a statement. So in order to pay off your student loans, I feel like it's important to create a plan. So that's what we're going to do today. So get your pen and your paper because we're going to go through this step by step. First thing you need to do is know how much your student loan is. Now, I say that because some people have multiple loans. They have unsubsidized loans, they have subsidized loans, they have federal loans, they have private loans. So you have to add up all of that amount together in order to know how much you need to pay off. The second thing is you need to have a designated time of when you want to pay off those student loans. So saying 5 to 10 years is so vague that you will continue to put that off because it's not a goal that you're working towards. For instance, if you say, I want to lose 20 pounds by the end of summer, and the end of summer is August 30th, then you know that's your deadline. In order to pay off your student loans, you have to create a deadline for yourself. For me, I don't want to be retired at 65 still paying on student loans. That's just not my ministry. That's not what I want for my life. I am currently 43. I really believe that I can pay my student loans off by the time I'm 55. So 12 years from now, it is 2025. Carry the one. That is 2037. So my goal is to pay off all of my student loans by December 31st, 2037. Do the same thing. Write that down. Create a deadline for paying off your student loans with a date and a year. It can be by your birthday. It can be before you get married or before you have your first child. Whatever that is, make sure you write down the date. And write this down specifically. My student loans will be paid off by whatever your date is. So for me, December 31st, 2037. Okay? Now that part is done. Next up, you actually want to figure out what your payoff date is based off your loan amount and also based off your interest rate. Now, there's a bunch of like student loan payoff estimators, calculators out there. It's basically a Google Excel spreadsheet with a formula. You plug in how much your loans are, you plug in how much your percentage rate is, you plug in how much you pay a month, and then it will give you how long it will take you to pay off those student loans. It'll basically break it down by month. So you put in those numbers, and it'll say, okay, it'll take you 136 months to pay off that amount. And then you just kind of reverse engineer that and figure out how many years that number will be. Now, one of my viewers did send me a student loan calculator, so I'm going to link that in the comments below. So thank you to the viewer and the fan who created that, because that's going to be a really big help to the rest of the viewers out there. Now here comes the actual payment. So we figured out the deadline, the actual payoff date that we want. We figured out our estimated payoff date with our calculator, saying how much that we're going to pay. And let me go back to that real quick. So the estimated calculator is based on how much you want to pay a month. So if you want to take longer to pay off those student loans, you pay a little less. If you want to speed up the process of paying off your student loans, then you pay a little more. So whatever amount you put into the calculator of what you want to pay a month, that's going to determine how long it's going to take you to pay off your student loans. Now, when it comes to that payment has to be the same every single month. So when you are looking at your monthly budget, you're looking at how much you make in your salary, you know, twice a month or whatever. Then you're looking at your bills, your car note, your rent, all of your utilities. All of that stuff is fine and it needs to be paid, but you have to designate a certain amount of money to go towards your student loans every single month. And the best way to do that is to do an auto pay. So let's say your minimum payment for your student loan is $183, okay? So you pay that every single month. Like for me, mine is income based, so I pay $51.12. If I want to knock that out faster, I'm going to make an auto payment of $250, because not only is it meeting my minimum payment requirement, it's now paid my accrued interest for the month, and now more money is going towards the principal, which is the goal. The goal in order to pay off your student loans quickly, you need to apply more money to the principal. The only way to pay more money towards the principal is if you pay off your accrued interest every single month. I'm going to link the video I made before about understanding student loans and compound daily rates rates up here. I keep doing this because I don't know what side it is. I think it's on this side. So I'm going to link that video up here so that you guys can understand how interest rates work, how your monthly interest is accrued daily, and basically how much you have to pay per month in interest in order for the rest of your money to go towards the principal, because you got to pay the interest first in order for anything to go towards the principal. So basically, because my student loans are income based, that $51 barely covers the interest. So I'm only making interest only payments right now instead of making payments going towards the principal. And it's been like that for some years. So when I look at my student loan, it still says $14,000 because that's how much I took out when I was in college in 2018. It hasn't budged because I'm not making any payments towards the principal. That's another reason why your student loan amount hasn't decreased and it looks exactly the same, is because you're not paying off all of your interest and you're not putting enough money towards your principal. But that's something that we can figure out, and we can create that number using the estimated calculator in the comments below and also watching my other video, because everybody's student loan is individual. So your rate and your amount is going to look different than mine, but the formula is still the same. And you can apply it to any type of loan, any amount of loan with any amount of interest. So just a quick recap. In order to pay off your student loans, you have to, one, create a deadline with a date and a year. Second, you have to know how much you owe in student loans and what your interest rates are. Next, you have to calculate how long it's going to take you to pay off your student loans based on the dollar amount you're going to pay every single month. Next, you're going to set up auto pay to pay that specific amount towards your student loan every single month. If you guys have any more comments or questions about student loan repayment, then make sure you leave them in the comment section below. I will try to answer those questions in my next video. That's all I have for today. And if you have enjoyed our time together, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I make videos to give solutions to everyday problems. I'll see you next time in another video. But until then, love you, mean it. Bye.